Good morning and welcome to the news on New Day. We're coming to you live from the John Hammond Street at Kanda here in Accra. My name is Judith Awachi Tando. Coming up this morning. Anti-graft campaigners advocate for a review of assets declaration law to include relatives of public officer holders. Also this morning, the latest Bank of Ghana report reveals a staggering loss of more than 26 million cedis solely from mobile money transactions in 2022. Plus, Parliament passes Criminal Offences Amendment Act 2022, which seeks to abolish death penalty. And on the international front, new malaria vaccine gets green light in Burkina Faso. Details of these stories and more coming up shortly. Please do stay with us. We start in Parliament now, where it has passed the Criminal Offences Amendment Act 2022 in a bid to abolish the death penalty. Now, with the amendment, the death penalty is off the Criminal Offences Code and rather gives the power to the President to commit to life imprisonment.
And the question is that the Criminal Offences Amendment Bill 2022 be now read the second time. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Honourable members, the Criminal Offences Amendment Bill 2022 is duly read the third time and passed.
An act to amend the Criminal Offences Act 1960, Act 29, to substitute the penalty of life imprisonment for the death penalty and to provide for related matters.
The Criminal Offences Amendment Bill 2022 read the third time and passed.
The death penalty is no more a punishment in our statutes. That is not to say that those who take it upon themselves to take the lives of others are being encouraged to do so. But what we are saying is that God gives us life, and under no circumstance should a person's life be taken merely because of commission of such an offense. So I think that is a day to celebrate, because internationally all human rights institutions have taken this position that the death penalty provision in our laws or in various laws as a form of punishment is moot. Our parliament has done its bit. It's now left for the executive to assent to the bill so that it becomes law. We respect human rights and would act in accordance with international best practices when it comes to international human rights and order. Thank you so much indeed.
Let's stay on the subjects now. The passage of the amended death penalty law by Ghana's parliament has attracted sharp reactions from Amnesty International. Country Director Genevieve Partington praised the parliament for the bold decision to abolish the death penalty, describing it as a win for human rights.
This is a huge win for human rights. We are so happy that Parliament has voted for the motion to abolish. We want to thank the Speaker of Parliament for really pushing today. I was listening eagerly whilst they were having their proceedings, and we are just so happy that it has finally been abolished. Although it sees to 96% of abolishment, at least that covers everyone on death row right now. So we are appealing to the President of Ghana to quickly sign this bill and put it into law. And then we are also appealing to him to commute all the persons on death row into life imprisonment. It's something that he can do. So we are really praying that he will, work swiftly to get this done. And we can't say more thank yous even to Honorable Sosu. He has been one member of parliament that has really been pushing for this abolition. We've been doing so much media engagement for the past 2 weeks. We've not been sleeping, so we are really grateful that this has finally come to pass.
On to some more stories now. And anti-graft campaigners are advocating the need to have government expeditiously pass the Public Officers Code of Conduct Bill following revelations more cash was found at the residence of the former Sanitation Minister, Cecilia Dapa. The special prosecutor is continuing investigations after a search was conducted in a house last night.
The details of the ongoing investigation by the Office of the Special Prosecutor into former Sanitation Minister Cecilia Dapa officially started yesterday, but the details already make for interesting conversations. Thorough searches were conducted at the cantonment and Abilinkpe residence of the former minister, according to sources, have revealed substantial findings. Cecilia Dapa was granted bail with one surety in the late hours of Monday, with the findings at her residence making it difficult for the bail to be agreed upon. Co-chair of the Citizens Movement Against Corruption, Edem Senanu, argues the revelations in the ongoing investigations makes it imperative for the Public Officers Code of Conduct to be passed.
I think that this highlights for us the importance of passing the Public Officers Code of Conduct Bill. All of us, media, civil society, need to demand that this that has been sitting before Cabinet should be passed urgently.
Private legal practitioner Martin Pebu believes asset declaration by political actors must be public document to further safeguard against corruption.
Absolutely, there is no two ways about it. Every serious anti-corruption crusader supports this point. And Martin, let's remind ourselves, even during the PNDC era, they used to publish these assets, showing PNDC appointees who publish their assets. I don't know, the various reasons have been given to how we came into a constitutional dispensation and then allowed these declarations to be made secret.
The minister is expected to fill out a declaration of lifestyle audit form. The form essentially will help determine the source of funds which went missing at her residence. The family and close relatives of Madame Dapa also are undergoing questioning as investigations by the OSP continue. With all the talk of the quoted foreign currencies, the governor of the Bank of Ghana says the hoarding of such forex is worrying.
We are all worried, but really, this is a matter that is still unfolding and involving the court, so there's not much that one can say.
The minister, within the court of public opinion, currently stands accused of hoarding money which has been stolen by two of her house helps.
Let's stay on this topical issue now. And a law lecturer at the University of Professional Studies, UPSA, Justice Abdullahi, says the asset declaration law must be reviewed to include assets of family members of public officer holders. Now, the move, he opined, would prevent public officer holders from distributing their ill-gotten wealth to family members. He's also calling for periodic asset declaration.
It has always been that our asset declaration regime is the way to go. We can retool it to make it better. I have recommended severally that we have a periodic review. Rather than waiting for 4-year review, we should have a yearly review of the asset declaration regime. We should ensure that the assets are traceable. They should be open document. And this is very easy. I have insisted that it is not the sole means of checking this. We should also ensure that the assets that are declared should be devoid of futuristic assets, so that people who have dreams of acquiring property in future would insert all these property in their declared assets, and also ensure that assets that are in the names of family and friends are all checked. So the immediate family of public servants should be made to declare their assets as well, because most of the time what you find is that these assets are either bought in the name of children, spouses, girlfriends, and other family brothers and sisters. So once we have that, and we also ensure that first, the 4-year tenure of renewal should rather be made yearly. So every year we should audit the lifestyle of these persons.
Meanwhile, the Attorney General Godfrey Adame is expected to issue an advice on the Cecilia Dapa saga. This is because the police has forwarded the docket on the theft case to the Attorney General. Deputy Attorney General Alfred Tuaibwa says the AJ's advice will focus solely on the theft case reported by the former minister and her spouse.
Now, there's no person who is politically exposed who has been arrested and being prosecuted in this particular matter, if anything at all. There is someone who may be politically exposed who is rather the complainant. So the attorney is going to review the docket to see whether there's any basis for the prosecution, or to see whether more charges or some of the charges may have to be taken from what we have now. So depending on what we have on record. So this is a situation whereby the Attorney General is going to look at a situation where someone within the government is to be prosecuted. That is not, because now the other citizens who have been arrested, they are the people that have to review the docket to see whether there's any basis to do the prosecution, and how we should do the prosecution, and where we should do the prosecution. We do not know the extent of investigations done by the police in connection with the source of those amounts. But we are aware that another statutory body, the OSP, is also investigating into other matters in connection with the matter. So we will not definitely go a situation where we may want to be in conflict with the OSP. So the OSP has its mandate investigating the source of that particular money and the lifestyle audit, etc., etc. We are also looking at what the police have done so far to see whether what the police did is something that we can use in prosecuting the case or not to prosecute.
On to one of our headline stories now. The latest report by the Bank of Ghana has revealed a staggering loss of more than 26 million cedis in 2022 solely from mobile money transactions. This figure reflects 103% increase in losses compared to the previous year, despite a slight decline in the number of reported cases.
Mobile money, or Momo, has been of great significance to Ghanaians in recent years. It has played a vital role in bringing financial services to the unbanked and underbanked populations in Ghana. Momo has revolutionized the way they conduct financial transactions and improving financial inclusion across the country. Many Ghanaians, especially those in rural areas, now have access to basic financial services such as savings, payments, and transfers through their mobile phones. Sadly, cyber criminals have gained access to the windows set up to commit crimes.
The report suggests around 26 million Ghana cedi was lost through the EMIs in 2022. This is around 103 percentage points growth in financial crime. So it's telling us that there is some value that our valued customers are losing from these organized crime. And it is our responsibility collectively to work with all law enforcement agencies within the ambits of the law to ensure that these perpetrators are brought to book.
A significant rise in losses highlights the pressing need for increased vigilance and security measures in the mobile money sector to protect consumers' funds and maintain public confidence in digital financial services.
Sometimes I feel sad when we hear some people saying the criminals are ahead of us. And we shouldn't continue to be comfortable with that saying that they are ahead of us. They shouldn't be ahead of us. And to be ahead of them, we need to collaborate. We need to work together. If the criminals are working together, what about those of us who are fighting?
As the mobile money industry continues to grow and thrive in Ghana, it becomes crucial for stakeholders to collaborate closely with regulatory bodies like IOCO to develop robust strategies to curb fraud and safeguard the financial interests of millions of mobile money users across the country.
The way forward in dealing with economic and organized crime is about intelligence gathering. And for us to gather that quality of intelligence that will make us work, definitely we will need the assistance of the telcos.
The signing of the Memorandum of Understanding between IOCO and Mobile Money Limited in Accra is to further boost the fight against fraud in the Momo industry.
For us to be gathered here today, doing what we are doing to ensure that we are going to take definitive measures to address these issues, I think it's something that we all ought to laud and applaud.
Now, the Attorney General and Minister of Justice Godfred Dame has directed police in the Central Region to investigate the assault case at Adisadel College. The AJ is demanding that a suspect be arraigned by Friday, July 28. Here's a report.
Oh, my son, you do that. Okay. Hey, you're coming, Kuno.
It's an issue that has taken social media by storm. A viral video of a student of Adisadel College abusing another. The incident, which happened on June 30, 2023, shows the student placing significant pressure on the neck of the victim and subsequently hitting his head against a metal bunk bed. This has raised questions about the extent of bullying that continues to occur in schools, as well as whether or not crowding and the lack of discipline in schools play a significant role. Hours after the incident went viral, the Ghana Education Service in a press release indicated that the management of the service was deeply concerned and condemned the act, describing it as barbaric. Currently, a number of sanctions have been meted out to the culprit, housemaster, victim, and students who witnessed the incident without intervening. The culprit faces outright dismissal, while others face different forms of suspensions. Reacting to the sanctions, Director of Child Rights International, Bright Appiah, suggests a review for both the culprit and the victim of the incident.
I find it very unfortunate. Even in an event where a child has committed offense, the law recognizes that certain right must be given to the child. So you just not throw the child into society to go and continue that kind of act, but you try to carry out rehabilitation programs to ascertain the reasons. Right. And when you come to the victim, you know, a child has gone through such issue, and the only thing that the school can do is to let both of them go home. We expect that Ghana Education Service would reverse that decision, subject the children to what we call the investigation, and then to obtain the social inquiry report, and it's on the basis of that we can determine what next the action will be.
Attorney General Godfred Dame has since directed the suspects in the case be arraigned before court by Friday, July 28. This follows the transfer of students involved in the assault, along with some staff, to the Greater Accra Regional Directorate of the Ghana Education Service after the Central Regional Minister and Central Regional Police Commander stormed the school. Judith Awachitando, TV3 News. Meanwhile, three pre-tertiary education unions, the National Association of Graduate Teachers, the Ghana National Association of Teachers, and the Coalition of Concerned Teachers have also been reacting to the incident.
And this particular one, look, the board of Adisadel School, and together with all the powers that be, must find the severest punishment, not only for the boy that carried out the act, but to all the gentlemen that film it, and together with all those that were watching. That guy is squeezing the boy's life out of him. That is what we are seeing in the video. Squeezing, and you call this whether this is normal. Why? Yes. Are we animals? How can this thing be normal? Any person that calls this thing normal, the person doesn't think well. Yes.
We will urge parents to also talk to their walls. That you go to school to go and learn. You don't go to school to go and beat somebody's word. You don't do that as a student. And they should put an end to it. But because these students' final years are involved, GES should expedite action on whichever investigations they are doing, so that whichever punishment will be meted out quickly. But whichever punishment that will be meted out should not prevent the boys or those involved from writing their final exams. Never.
On the international fronts, the health authorities in Burkina Faso have given the go-ahead for a new malaria vaccine to be used on young children, offering hope that millions of lives can be saved. The R2 vaccine has already been approved in Ghana and Nigeria. Malaria is the leading cause of infant mortality in Burkina Faso, and Health Minister Robert Kagugu says this new vaccine will be an extremely important tool in the efforts to eliminate the disease. Now, the researchers say that trials involving 5,000 children have been successful. The R21 vaccine will be available for children aged between 5 months and 36 months, and each dose is likely to cost a couple of US dollars. The Serum Institute of India can produce 2 million doses a year, and a factory is also to be built in Ghana, which is already approved for the vaccine along with Nigeria. And that's all for the 6 a.m. news here on TV3. My name is Judith Aoche Tanda. And of course, Roland and Cookie T are here with me in the studio with the rest of New Day. Good morning.
I'll watch your tea. That's how I call it now. I'll watch your tea. Yeah, I'll watch your Tando. Good job you've done on Adisadel. I mean, the explainer, giving us the updates and all. I've seen that some bloggers in Ghana have picked on it and they're also
quite a number.
It means that we are doing a good job here. You are doing a great job here.
Thank you.
As well.
Thank you.
But remember, you can't shoot there. You cannot shoot over there. It's between you and I.
Yeah, this is between both of us.
Yes. Go find another space to shoot. You can't shoot over there.
Sure.
Good morning, Michael.
Good morning.
Anyway,
you're looking great.
I explained to you off air. Don't worry. You know I don't hide anything from you. Yeah. So yes, I'll tell you. I'll tell you.
Sister.
Yeah. How are you though? Everything okay? Everything fine?
Yeah, everything is
fine.
fine.
It's raining out there, so
wow.
Maybe your cocoa errand may not work this morning. I'm just saying, so find some coffee in here and you'll be fine. Yeah. Thank you so much for the news.
Thank you too.
Have a great day.
You too.
And Roland, you are doing great work. Great work. Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm well, my darling.
And
I hope all of you had some good sleep. Well, for those who are joining us from the other side of the continent, and I'm sure it's night, and then we are experiencing day. Yeah. We say welcome to TV3 New Day. Always get interactive. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Many of you keep asking me whether if we're streaming, we cut the streams. Yes, we have to cut the streams because of copyright issues, etc. But usually, once we start the segments, we tend to regularly stream them. So make sure TV3 Ghana becomes your best page. Not only following, but also clicking the subscription or the notification buttons so that you get them on your phones, and then you can follow the conversation. Today we have an interesting conversation, and we'll start with this morning's segment in which we follow up with that conversation as Parliament has now amended the Act 29. That's the Criminal and Other Offences Act, and subsequently we as a country technically do not have the death penalty, so it's been replaced or amended with life imprisonment. So we want to ask you, our distinguished viewers, what you think about it. So we'll take a look at it when we come back from the break, and then also we'll have Johnny's Bites, and then we'll have some conversation subsequently on what the NDC is saying as far as big issues is related about their own condemnation on what they claim to be victimization of the Domahene, who also happens to be a judge. And it's about his comments on the current issue of Jechikwe's and whether the Attorney General should file a nolle prosequi. What are the implications of this? So we'll take a look at that. And then we're having a conversation on surrogacy. We really don't have regulations or policies for it, regulating, fertility in terms of if you want to have surrogacy, etc. Because people need to have the right to choose. So we want to have a conversation with a specialist and do the advocacy or take the path of advocacy, while we need to have the right regulations in place, it becomes at least an opportunity for people to make those decisions in an environment that is well regulated, and not to be looking behind their backs to see whether somebody is watching or not. On that decision to make somebody carry your